the D block, the S block, the J block, and the H block. Let's talk about them real quick. Well, the D block is short for damage. S block is short for stop. The J block is short for jump. The H block is short for head. Not that head. What do they do? Well, damage specifically only works during the wave game mode, where when you're a wave, it stops you from taking damage. Here, let me demonstrate. Over here we have two setups, one without the D blocks and one with the D blocks. Let me show you the difference. The one above has no D blocks. Let's see what happens when we touch it with a wave from the top or the bottom. Of course, we die. Now, what about the one with the D blocks? Well, let's try to touch it. And look, we just slide like nothing happened. That's a simple explanation of the D block. Up next, we have the S block. What this does is pretty simple. Let me show you. Here is a simple setup that will demonstrate how the S block works. When we use a dash orb, the S block stops us from dashing. I've indicated them with those lines over there. As you can see, it stopped my cube from dashing and hitting the spikes. That's a simple explanation of the S blocks. Now, let's move on. Up next is the J blocks. They are by far the best blocks in my opinion. Here I have built a very simple setup to show you how the J blocks work. There are no J blocks currently, as I've just shown. Now, if I were to jump and hold, I would die to the spikes. Now, let's see the same scenario with J blocks. As you can see, I have just added J blocks. Now, let's see how this changes the situation. I will now jump and hold after the orb. And just like that, we didn't jump even though I was holding. That is the power of J blocks. It stops these unnecessary jumps that you were not intending. In faster paced situations, this is a more larger problem, but in this slow scenario, it is not. Finally, the H block. The H block is very simple. Take a look at this structure. Now, see what happens when I hit play. As you can see, this jump is clearly not possible, as I keep hitting the ceiling. However, with the addition of H blocks, this jump is now possible. Now, to end off the video, I would like to give my own tier list to all of these blocks. Here is my order. This is my final list. A+ to the jump block, because it is clearly the most useful, especially in today's day and age, where no one seems to be able to make good gameplay. Next up is the head block, which helps create interesting gameplay and is a unique mechanic to the game. Then is the D block, which is all in all a pretty good block. However, I do believe that the H block gives more unique and interesting mechanics. And finally is the S block, by far the worst out of the four. Why? Well, most of the time if you just put some spikes it can be prevented. You don't need the S block at all. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in another one.